Good afternoon, welcome back to Premier League Live for our second of our doubleheader this Sunday afternoon, and we finish at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as they take on a Manchester United side. Two sides that are getting all the headlines, but for all the wrong reasons at the moment. For two very torrid runs of form for both of these two clubs. Injuries have played their part, but these two well below par for where they expect to be at this point in the season. 14th and 15th are the positions these two occupy. Of course, one can go further away from the other with a win today, and a win would certainly ease the pressure on both managers in Ange Postecoglou and Ruben Amorim. Both sides have been criticised for not wanting to move away from their stubborn systems that the two managers employ, and maybe they could have got better results if they did. But today it's all about the Premier League and getting a better result for these two teams, not in a good way at this minute in time. They played an absolute cracker here in the Carabao Cup quarter-finals before Christmas, an early Christmas present then. We're hoping to see another something similar to that this afternoon. Let's have a look and see the two teams then, and Tottenham make a big change in goal. Guillermo Vicario returns. Kinski drops to the bench and Vicario returns from injury. A back four of Pedro Porro, Kevin Danzo, Ben Davies and Jed Spence in defence. Rodrigo Bentancur and Lucas Bergvall are the defensive midfield two, with James Maddison in the 10. Dejan Kulusevski on the right wing, captain Heung-min Son off the left, and January signing Matthias Tell starts once again leading the line. On the bench for Spurs, Kinski, Udogie, Gray, Bissouma, Sarr, Audebert, Moore, Scarlett and Johnson. So some players returning from injury for Ange Postecoglou. For Manchester United, it's probably getting worse. Onana starts in goal. A back five of Dorgu, De Ligt, Maguire, Mazraoui and Delot. A midfield of Casemiro alongside Bruno Fernandes, the captain. And a front three of Joshua Zirkzee, Alejandro Garnacho and Rasmus Højlund. A very unusual bench: Harrison, Amas, Heaven, Fredrickson, Lindelof, Fletcher, Kone, Moorhouse and Obi Martin, after Ahmad was deemed to have been out for the season after getting injured in training this week. The main man for Manchester United is not here, and Manchester United's attacking issues continue. Their three that are on the field are the only three senior attackers in the Manchester United squad that are fit and here this afternoon. It's Spurs against United. It's always an enticing one, an exciting one, and we kick off in North London next. And these two have always got a thriller in the bag when they meet each other. This is actually the third meeting of the clubs this season. They met here in that Carabao Cup quarter-final back on the 19th of December, a 4-3 thriller. And Spurs won the reverse Premier League fixture 3-0 at Old Trafford back in September. Spurs haven't beaten Manchester United 3 times in the same season since 1990. 35 years since that happened, before the Premier League even existed. And two managers who today need a little bit of help and need a little bit of a positive result, because positivity is something neither of these two clubs or fan bases really know anything about recently in the way their teams have been performing on the pitch. And of course off the field stuff always finds its way into the headlines, especially at these two clubs over the last few weeks and months. As Spurs get us underway, a Tottenham side looking for back-to-back wins for the first time since September. That just shows and really emphasises the torrid run that they've been on. But also Manchester United's isn't any better, and that's why they find themselves in the position they do in the Premier League in 14th and 15th. Both were overtaken by relegation-threatened Everton in midweek. Everton surely relegation-threatened no more after that big win against Crystal Palace yesterday. These two have pride on the line and a lot of work to do if they're going to get themselves back into the top half, never mind chasing Europe this season. Games are starting to run out. As Matthijs de Ligt here blocks that through ball to Tell. And the flag's going to go up there to give Manchester United the free kick, I believe. Matthias Tell involved. Of course, joined Spurs, the 19-year-old Frenchman, from Bayern on loan till the end of the season. And this is, of course, his Premier League debut. His first Premier League appearance since joining. He's played in 3 different competitions now for Spurs. Made his debut in all 3 of them. And actually, he's not going to make another appearance in the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup this season, because Spurs are knocked out of both of those competitions now. In his first 2 appearances, wants to taste a victory, probably for the first time at Spurs, as does Kevin Danso, who also joined in the January window, and also has only known defeat for Spurs so far in his 2 previous appearances in those cup games. Something Spurs need to turn around quickly is their form. Something they've really struggled with this season. And injuries have been a big problem. Ange Postecoglou is getting players back eventually, after what has been a real horrid run of their injuries. It seemed like everybody was getting injured for Spurs. Vast majority of their senior players, especially defenders, were getting injured at a rapid rate. But they're starting to see a little bit more normality return to the Spurs team selection. Here's Kulishevsky, all closed out by Casemiro and Patrick Dorgu. Of course, he's making his Premier League debut this afternoon for Manchester United. The 20-year-old Danishman. And played in the FA Cup against Leicester, that 2-1 victory for United. That was his club debut, but this is his Premier League debut this afternoon for the left wing back. Dalot wins this throw-in for United down the right side off James Maddison. Of course, a lot of Spurs problems, but a lot of Manchester United problems as well, remember. They're not kind of particularly in a good way at this moment in time, as Xerxes was offside there, free kick to Spurs. But they let a few attackers go. Anthony went away, Rashford went out in the January window. Of course, they were left with 4 senior attackers: Garnacho, Højlund, Xerxes and Ahmad. And Ahmad out for possibly the rest of the season after injuring himself in training. So, as I said, the 3 that start for United today are the only 3 senior lads in the United squad here this afternoon in those positions. Which is something Ruben Amorim is going to have to be very careful of, as he can't afford any more injuries in those areas. As Mazraoui pulling down James Maddison. And Spurs will get a free kick here. Yeah, Maddison did well, spun him, and Mazraoui wasn't letting go when Maddison got the turn. And a free kick for Tottenham. Taken short. Spence, right footed delivery, swinging infield, but well cleared away by United. Garnacho played it back into the box and give it away again. Porro with a low cross. Cleared away by Casemiro, who was sitting deep in there, and Danzo will recycle the Spurs possession. It's a positive start for the home side. Here's Danzo to Bergvall. Does well to hold on to the ball. He scored that winner in the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg here against Liverpool. Of course, Spurs knocked out of that competition quite convincingly in the return leg at Anfield. 4-0 defeat. Regarded as one of their worst performances of the season for Tottenham. That's lovely from Son. Gets past Dalot, whips a ball in. Too high for Onana. Too high for everyone in there. As Kulishevsky will retrieve. Linking up with Bergvall. Kulishevsky. And Bentancur goes wide again to Danso. Bodies in the box for Spurs. Danso goes wide to Porro. Back to the centre-back. He will deliver. Maddison up in the air. And Casemiro to flick it away of danger, but that's better from Tottenham. Able to hold the ball in the right areas and keep the pressure on Manchester United early doors here. Spence running around the outside. Jed Spence unmarked. Spence across. Whether it was a cross or a shot, either way it went behind. Goal kick. Jed Spence completely unchallenged. Just made an outfield run. The run from Son infield dragged Dalot away, and Fernandes was nowhere in trying to chase Jed Spence down. And he drove into the box. I think he might have tried to cross it. Just escaped his foot as he crossed it, and it goes behind for a Spurs Man United goal kick so far. And that was a decent effort. Decent try from Jed Spence, who, of course, Destiny Udogie is on the bench, but Spence has maybe kind of forced his way into the team with the performances he's put in, despite Spurs being poor overall as a team. I think Spence has been one of the bright sparks for Tottenham in this real poor spell. Especially, probably his best game was in the last Premier League game for Spurs against Brentford away when they won 2-0. He was probably his best game of the season. As Bentancur's gone down here, a little collision with Joshua Zirkzee. He's back to his feet and okay, but every time Spurs see a player go down, they fear the worst. It's like PTSD for those Spurs fans this season. Tonight to get their first spell of possession. Maguire to Dalot. Tries to bypass the midfield and find Højlund. He was, well, stopped back there by Kevin Danso, who had come across and cleared the ball out for a Manchester United throw-in. Mizraoui. Maguire. By Matthias de Ligt. Into the midfield. Garnacho hounded by 3 Spurs players, and Davies comes away with the ball. Bergvall lays it back off to Jed Spence. It's well won back by Spurs. The counter press working well there. Oh, Bentancur's ball just finds Spence past the Fernandes press. Here's Son, who's being criticised for really not stepping up to the captain plate as of recently. Heung-min Son, when all has been at the mire for Spurs, Son really hasn't stepped up with his performances. That has been the criticism that's been thrown at the Spurs captain. Heung-min Son contains the armband and makes the run over the top. Too far ahead of him, the ball from the South Korean, and that will just fall back to Andre Onana, who can retrieve for Manchester United. Again, a nice ball over the top by Davies. Son made the run kind of diagonally off the left flank, and he was clean through, but just too much, and it evaded him and found the Manchester United goalkeeper's hands. And Heung-min Son's last Premier League goal was in the North London derby in the 2-1 defeat back on the 15th of January. Oh, here's Højlund in the box. Rasmus Højlund! Shot saved by Vicario. First real time Man United have come forward. Here they come again though. Garnacho, edge of the box. The shot! Another save by Vicario. Followed up and off the line. Dalot. Manchester United in 30 seconds have Spurs scrambling at the back. Dalot whips in again and headed behind by Ben Davies. Well, all it was a run in behind by Rasmus Højlund. Maguire chips it over the top. Really nice ball. Davies completely caught out. Højlund takes it down in the box, cuts onto his left, forces a good save off Vicario, and the ball bounces back out. De Ligt feeds it round to Garnacho. He finds it onto his right. He tries to curl it to the far corner. Vicario again with a save, and then Dalot back across goal, cleared off the line. Corner for United, whipped in. Fernandes over the head of Maguire. Zirkzee will shoot, but Zirkzee will send well over the bar. Goal kick. And that's a moment or two where Spurs will not want to look back on. A couple of good saves from Vicario, back in the team and early doors, back doing what he's best at. keeping the ball out of his own net. Needed a bit of help from his defenders as well in there. One thing you can guarantee with these two teams is entertainment. I think for their fans, it's always a nail-biting moment in games when you're a Spurs fan or a United fan, but almost on the end of your seat in a bad way. But for the neutral, this type of fixture is the perfect kind of combination of chaos to create what is a mental game. Well, this is Vicario's first appearance in the Premier League since that 4-0 thrashing of Manchester City back in November. Already forced to make a couple of good saves early doors. Switch ball by Son. Just a down by Porro. Laid off to Bentancur. Back to Porro again infield. Porro dribbles his way past Dorgu. Ball in round the back. Son with a shot. Back across goal. Bergvall saves Onana. Followed up and in. James Maddison. Manchester United don't get the lock that Spurs did at the other end. And James Maddison, he does the dart celebration, but that was a real darting effort from the rebound. Forcing it past Andre Onana. And Tottenham break the deadlock after they could have been threatened moments earlier. Manchester United not dealing with the situation anywhere near well enough. It's good combination down the right side. Porro feeds it off. The deep cross to the back post. Son keeps it alive with that wisping effort across goal. It falls to Bergvall, who shoots. Onana commits to the dive and kind of just palms it right back out into the 18-yard box. Perfect into the path of the responding James Maddison. The flag stays down and James Maddison gets Spurs in front. The man who's been missing for Tottenham gives them the early lead in this huge, huge fixture. Spurs 1, Manchester United 0. And James Maddison with a lovely darting effort, giving Spurs the advantage. His 9th of the season. And his first against Manchester United in the Premier League. James Maddison. Not that he's tried before, because he certainly has, both as a Spurs player and a Leicester player. That is Tottenham ahead, but a long way to go after Manchester United could have had themselves ahead moments earlier. But it is James Maddison, quickest to react, the quickest to pounce upon Andre Onana's little palming ball out into the box. It's slice of luck, but one they deserve, but it won't bring confidence, because Spurs this season have dropped the most points from winning positions. 21 points they've dropped from winning positions this season, more than any other team in the league. So, but despite the lead, it won't breed confidence in the fact that they can hold on to that lead. Bergvall does well holding on to the ball there. Here's Spence. Bentancur around the corner over the top for Porro. He tried to play it first time. Couldn't find Kulishevsky. And Delic's clearance comes off Porro. Man United throw in. Onana. Delo. Plays it on to Fernandez. First time ball trying to find Hoylands. Well, stopped by Davies. Tell's little miss-hit touch. Put Mazraoui under pressure, and Onana does get it out wide to Delo under pressure from Son there. As Fernandez is fouled by James Maddison. Trying to win the ball back, Maddison, and takes out the Man United captain. Those two have history. Madison and Fernandez. Bruno Fernandes was sent off in the reverse fixture this season. And that was James Maddison that was fouled in that one. Here's Fernandes. Wide it goes to Dalot. Trying to eke his way around the box. Not finding the space. Plays it back to Casemiro. Swings it wide to the left for Dorgu. Goes for the cross. Cleared away by Danso. And back to Casemiro it comes. Maguire. Going to switch it. Lovely ball out to Dorgu in the left flank. Porro in his wake. Dorgu will come back infield to Casemiro. He swings it out to the far right side now for Dalot. Good use of the wide areas from United. Fernandes back to Mazraoui. Decent response from the visitors to going behind. That's a forced ball into Casemiro's path. Wanted the foul, not getting one. And now Spurs can try and conjure up a counter. Kulishevsky can break. De Ligt in his way. Dorgu trying to come in as Kulishevsky on the spin. Finds it to Bergvall. Casemiro went down. Felt he was fouled by Bergvall. The referee saw no issue. He was right on top of it, the referee, so got a clear view of it. That's not a new thing, that Casemiro giving the ball away in cheap areas. Dangerous areas, shall I say. Ball over the top for Spurs. Nice takedown by Porro. Lovely little ball control on the edge of the box. Rolls it off to Bentancur. Maddison to Son. Back to James Maddison. Right wide to Spence. Spence with a cross. Falls to tail, lays it off. Kulishevsky to shoot. Charged down by Maguire. And cleared away by Mazraoui. Spurs come again. Maddison. Out wide to Spence again. Comes in field, Jed Spence. Linking up with Son. Couldn't find the pass off, and United crowd that area. And one does come away with the ball as Xerxes doing a little spin. And he will get the free kick. There, Joshua Xerxes. The ball in behind for Garnacho. But that was clear as day. I mean, the linesman could have had sunglasses on and could have had a blinding shield over them, and he still would have seen that was offside from Alejandro Garnacho. I mean, talk about naive and completely ridiculous. I mean, stay in your own half and there's no call for offside, but just makes the run a little bit too early there, Garnacho. Kulishevsky. Back to Danso. Now across to Davis. Jed Spence. Space forward. Spence. Lays it off now to Bergvall, who will not shoot. Preemptive there as De Ligt clears his lines from Lucas Bergvall. Got a bit ahead of myself there. Danso. Just short of 20 minutes. Spurs 1, Manchester United 0. Spurs have had a strong start. Despite those few saves that Vicario had to make, that's the only real positive spell that United have had in that little 40-second period. Since that, and before that, it's been all Spurs. Maddison. Picking up that left channel at the minute, James Maddison. No real out-and-out 10 for Tottenham at the minute. Trying to spread the load across the front line. Or Tottenham, as Dancer was taken down there by Rasmus Højlund. Ben Davis. To Jed Spence. Now Maddison. Nice turn away from Mazraoui. Brought down by Mazraoui. Free kick to Tottenham. Referee Peter Banks, by the way, didn't get telling you that. Peter Banks, our referee. Paul Tierney, the VAR for this one. Peter Banks just setting the ball down in front of James Maddison. Taking this free kick and gives it back to Danso. Wide it goes to Porro. Spurs just a bit more patient in their play today. Seen a lot of Spurs when they have been struggling with those injury problems. There's just been a real lack of cohesion from Tottenham and a real lack of composure on the ball at times. That's lovely from Maddison. Was hounded by Fernandes but did so well to stay on the ball. And Højlund couldn't come away with it, but Spence gives it away to Maguire, who's charging forward here, Harry Maguire. Lays it off to Højlund. Takes the touch around the right side. Cuts it back across. Behind Xerxes, and Kulusevski can get Spurs away. Son with an awful touch. Gives it away to Mazraoui. Xerxes skips past Bergvall. Linking up with Højlund. That's better from United. Dorgu. Xerxes. Edging for the shot. Xerxes will shoot. And will shoot just wide. It had Vicario diving. In the end, it didn't really need to. Yeah, you just see it. Xerxes looking like he's going left. He goes right past Bergvall and tries to spin it round to that far right-hand corner. It just curls wide of the right post and had Vicario diving for it. In the end, as I said, it didn't really need to because it was always going wide. The keeper was worried. United win it high up here. Fernandes finds Garnacho. Absolutely skies it. That is a big chance. Well won in the midfield by Dalot. Flicked on by Fernandes. Xerxes linking up. Casemiro then finds Fernandes again on the edge of the D. And Alejandro Garnacho, he's got time, all the time in the world to take the shot. And I think he just gets put off by Kevin Danso come charging at him and sliding at him. And he just skies the ball over the bar. Lots of time, lots of space. Ample opportunity to find the equaliser. And he absolutely mucks it up. Another big chance the Man United don't take as Spurs give the ball away through Bergvall. Again, Xerxes has nowhere to go. Spurs clear their lines. And Maguire's header will go out for a Spurs throw in on the far right hand side. Can we just see this chance again? Beautiful ball by Fernandes, and he's just waiting for the net to bulge, as everyone in Man United as we're all waiting to see. And Garnacho absolutely fluffs his lines, and he really just doesn't find it at all. And Garnacho, who has come under a real drought in front of goal. His last goal for Manchester United actually came against Bodo Glimt. All the way back. Listen to this. All the way back in November. His last Premier League goal was a 3-0 win over Leicester back in the 10th of November. He scored the third and final goal in that 3-0 victory. And now he hasn't scored in the Premier League since. Here's Bergvall, Kulusevski on the outside of Bergvall. Doesn't want to take that option. Comes back infield to Maddison in space, who lays it off to Spence. Wide it goes to Son in the box. Son dribbling his way through, but dribbles into Dalot and gives the ball away. Fernandes has space to find Dorgu. Dorgu down the left for Garnacho. Fernandes. I'm one up. Charged down by Bentancur. And the man trying to carry it away there, Matthias Tell, is brought to the ground by Casemiro. Free kick to Tottenham. As I said, Spurs' last league double over United was in 1990. The last time that happened, they won 2-0 here. Not here, obviously, at White Hart Lane back then in 1990. And Gary Lineker scored the goal on that one. Scored 2 goals in that game back in 1990. That's how far back we're talking since Spurs last done a league double over Manchester United. Before this competition they're playing in actually existed in its current form. I mean, that's mental, to say the very least. Although it's not that Spurs have had a bad drought against United. They actually haven't lost to Manchester United since October 2022. But a few draws in there is what's saving Manchester United's bacon. in recent seasons. Madison, what a ball in behind for Son. Has to find a pass. Son cuts it back. The shot. The save from Onana from Matthias Tell. Good save. Good hit by Matthias Tell though. Again, what a ball by Madison. This is what Spurs are missing. Defence splitting pass by Madison. Round the corner to Son. And Son just waits. Cuts it back to Tell in the 18-yard box. Sees it coming. Takes the touch. Plays the pass. And Tell takes it first time. And forces a good save off Andre Onana. And Spurs get the corner. Now they're first of the match. That all came from Madison's beautiful ball forward. Son will take this corner. Right footed. Swung around the near post. Kept alive by Kulishevsky. Back to Madison. Now Bentancur. Body still in the box. Bentancur wants to fizz it. Round the back. Too much for Tell to take the first time, but he does battle the second time. But it's actually a Manchester United throw that comes out of that situation. Tell had the last touch. Again, 27 minutes gone. Spurs have been the better team. But Manchester United, funnily enough, have actually had more shots in the game. 7 to Spurs' 4. Spurs completely dominant in possession. 64% of the ball so far for the home side. And they do have that crucial stat, which is the lead. And their 1-goal advantage. Manchester United haven't won away at Tottenham since October 2021. They won 3-0 on that occasion. Ronaldo, Cavani and Rashford were the 3 scorers on that day. And that was 4.5 years ago. It was actually back-to-back away wins at Spurs. So they won 3-1 in April of 2021. But no wins since then. Bentancur through the lines. So close for Kulishevsky to get on to the end of it. And it's cleared away by Matthias de Ligt for a Spurs throw. But those through balls, problems for Manchester United's defence. And we talked about Spurs' real horrible form. Manchester United has been massively up and down. Hold on, Spurs in the box here, ball across. Dalot had to clear it away. Son was lurking at the back post there. Maybe try and test Dalot a bit more instead of standing at the back post there. Son was waiting for the ball and rather than trying to go and find it. Bentancur, Spence. Forced around the corner by Madison. It does fall back to the Spurs scorer. Spence now again. And hurries it back to Ben Davies. Again, Spurs just pushing and probing Manchester United quite well here at the moment. Keeping them moving. Keeping the ball on the move are Tottenham. It's been a very positive start. Positive first half an hour or so here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the home side. The home side who've really left a lot to be desired at home this season. That's concerning both clubs, but of course relevant in accordance with Spurs today. They've only won 4 times at home this season in the Premier League. Spurs, they sit 15th in terms of home form before this game, with only 14 points picked up at home. 4 wins, 2 draws and 6 defeats here this season for Tottenham. Manchester United is slightly a bit better, but not any better. Much better than Spurs at home. As Fernandes has crossed to find Højlund, was well blocked back there. And now Spurs on the break here with Spence. Down the left to Son. Not many bodies in white following into the box. Son just a bite, keeps it against Mazraoui. Gives it back to Spence now, who finds Bentancur. Tell linking up with Madison. Went down. No foul. That's a overhit pass by Fernandes to get Spurs back on the ball as United were trying to break away there. Crowd not happy that James Maddison wasn't given a foul there. The referee was quite clear in his decision making there. Kulusevski. Porro. Back to Danso. Very narrow in the middle, Manchester United. Very, very narrow. They're using their width defensively with that back five, but in terms of midfield, they're extremely narrow. And Spurs are just having the freedom of the wide areas when they come forward, and the only time they're coming under any bit of pressure is when they get towards the final third of Manchester United and the wing-backs kick in defensively. Spurs are having a lot of control and not really under any real pressure at this minute in time. Maddison. Back to Ben Davies. Across to Kevin Danso. Into Bergvall. Skips past Casemiro. Down the right side it comes now. For Kulusevski, who lifts the ball into the box. Taken down by Bentancur. Can't find the cutback. And Matthijs de Ligt has to rescue it out for a corner. To Tottenham. On the right hand side. Well, Manchester United have conceded the second most from set pieces this season, 12. Only Wolves, who we watched earlier, have conceded more, quite considerably more, with 19. But Man United, 12 goals conceded from set pieces. It has been their Achilles heel defensively this season, Manchester United, is set pieces. Spurs whipping this corner in. Bouncing around the box, not kept alive, and Bergvall over the bar, but I think the free kick had been given anyway on Casemiro. Yeah, the ball delivered in. Up in the air it went. Davies got the ball, and as Bergvall tried to reach around, he kind of pushed Casemiro out of the way, and it was a foul. Free kick for Manchester United. Well, we have to talk more about that League Cup quarter-final because it was an absolute barnstorming game here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Quite ironically, it was actually only 1-0 to Spurs at half-time. 6 of the 7 goals that we witnessed came in the second half. Spurs cruised into a 3-goal lead inside 9 minutes of the second half. Kulusevski and Solanke adding the second and the third goals. Then Manchester United scored 2 unanswered goals through Xerxes and Ahmad to make it 3-2. Son made it 4-2 directly from a corner. And then Manchester United scored late, 94th minute, to make it 4-3. But that was all she wrote, really, on that night. But an unbelievable game here. And pure chaos from both teams in that second half. Maddison there trying to stretch for the ball. Gives away the foul on Nasir Mazraoui. Referee just talking to James Maddison. Nothing more than just the free kick to be given there. A genuine attempt to win the ball is surely what the referee would have seen out of that. And just a free kick for Manchester United. 11 minutes to go of the first half. Spurs with a narrow advantage. 1-0 to the good. James Maddison, the scorer. United's free kick towards Maguire, who, I don't know what Harry Maguire was trying to do there, but whatever he tried didn't work. Goal kick. Trying to do yoga or something there, Harry Maguire, as he tried to stretch his right leg out to take the ball down, and he ended up ballooning it into the crowd for a goal kick. That's lovely play by Son. Spence now round the corner for Tell, making the run off the defenders. Tell comes wide, feeds it back to Spence. Doesn't want to shoot, wanted to curl it wide towards Kulusevski, who has a chase on to keep this one in. Does keep it in, but his ball back towards Porro. It does come off Dorgu, and Spurs win the throw. Just that little bit of extra sharpness about Spurs at this minute in time. Nice play by Bergvall into Bentancur. Down the right, Porro's forced ball right across the box. Too much. for Son to keep alive. Goal kick. Absolutely rifled that one across goal, did Pedro Porro. Rifled it so much that it almost met the corner flag in going out for a goal kick. De Ligt. Mazraoui. Delo back to Mazraoui. Has to send it long, but well headed by Madison and Tell. Flicking it past Casemiro. There's more control about the Spurs midfield at the minute. Bergvall, Bentancur and Madison all just comfortable on the ball, comfortable in their passing, know where each other is, and just a real calmness about the Spurs midfield at the minute. Just a coolness on the ball. It's just getting them out of tricky situations at the minute. And Man United trying to apply a press. Oh, that got them into trouble. And Casemiro's through ball. Well covered over by Danso. And the referee's actually going to pull it back for a foul on Casemiro here. Casemiro was arguing with the referee that that was the case. And see it again. Casemiro's ball. Yeah, he comes in a bit late there, Ben Davis. It is a foul. Took the referee a few seconds to figure out that situation. Has given Manchester United the free kick. It was a good distance out, that. A good 34 yards out, 33 yards out from goal. So it's a fair distance away. It's Bruno Fernandes that's standing aloft to take it. So we edge closer to the end of this first half. Spurs' advantage still intact. Man United want to change that. Fernandes. Right-footed ball over the top. De Ligt was committed. The keeper dropped it. But the flag's going to go up against United's number 4, Matthijs de Ligt. Yeah, it was a good ball by Fernandes. Yeah, there's just no hold, no restraint from Matthijs de Ligt at all there. Kind of tries to get himself back onside, but was actually never onside. He was offside from the very get-go there from that free kick. Pretty easy one for the assistant to spot. And that's a pull back on Spence by Delo. Just seems like Spurs don't really need to up their level at the minute. They're just ticking along, and Manchester United are kind of almost breaking down in midfield in a sense. If we use the car analogy, Spurs are just traipsing along. They're just calmly driving down the road with no real issues. Manchester United are like an old rust bucket trying to cough up something. And at the minute, they're not able to. With another free kick here though. Fernandes a lot further out this time, almost on the halfway line. He will chip it forward to Casemiro, who chests it down in the box. He feeds it to the back post. Up in the air it flicked. Bouncing down. Davis. And cleared away by Spence. That caused one or two issues. The ball hanging in the air for a while. The ball switched out wide to Casemiro. Headed across, but dealt with by Spurs. And Son takes it down blissfully on the turn. And gets taken down in the midfield. And there's going to be a yellow card coming out here for a Manchester United player. And that will be Casemiro that's going to get that booking. And they're both down, Casemiro and Son, after this. Yeah, Son takes it down absolutely blissfully. Beautiful. And then Casemiro, he's just never winning the ball. I mean, there's no attempt there to win the ball whatsoever. He just kind of takes Son's left foot from underneath him. And that's a lazy challenge if I've ever seen one, and certainly deserving of a yellow. The referee waiting until Casemiro gets back to his feet to show him that yellow card. Son slowly returns to his feet as well. And the Yellow card will be shown by the referee Peter Banks, and Casemiro in the referee's book for the second time this season. No lack of experience between those two, Casemiro and Son, both in their 30s. Casemiro actually just a few months older than Son. Both turned 33 this year. Casemiro actually turns 33 next Sunday. Son turns 33 in July. So not much between the two in terms of age. Spence running to Mazraoui there. Here's Maguire. Again, try to force it through the middle, but no one there to pick it up for Manchester United. Some wasteful passing in this first half from the visitors. Danso takes the risk to step into midfield and gets the benefits of that as he returns the ball to Bergvall. Can't find the forward pass, but it will bounce down for Maddison, who takes it down blissfully. Mazraoui got absolutely sent there. Son with the delivery. Up in the air by Maguire. Needs his keeper to come. And Andre Onana follows suit and gathers the ball. Oh, Dorgu gets dispossessed. Gets a bit lucky though that Porro couldn't retrieve the ball. And it just came off the chest of Porro. But Man United just lacking a little bit of composure at the minute. Being forced into uncomfortable situations and not having the composure and calmness to settle themselves. Casemiro overhit the pass, which gets a round of applause from Bruno Fernandes, quite strangely. And that wasn't surely the desired result of that pass, but through into Tottenham. 2 minutes of the first half to go. Spurs 1 up here in North London. After losing their last 2 games, they want to ease their way to another big win. Haven't won back-to-back Premier League games since September. They have the chance to do that this evening. After beating Brentford in a London derby on the 2nd of February. 2 weeks later, they have the chance to make it back-to-back Premier League wins. They're edging ever closer to that. But in terms of the Premier League form, other than that, they've actually been in a torrid run. They actually went winless in 7 before that Brentford win. Leicester, Everton, Arsenal, Newcastle, Wolves, Forest and Liverpool all getting something out of Spurs. Between the 15th of December and the 2nd of February, Spurs went without a win in the Premier League. Son to take this free kick. Right-footed delivery. Headed away by Dalot. Garnacho miscues it. Needed Fernandes to clear it away. Xerxes trying to take it down on the spin. It's Fernandes forcing it forward there from the loose ball. Højlund trying to get the better of his man. And it's just a real calamity here as Xerxes does come away with the ball. Fernandes gives it away. Maddison. Spurs on the move. 3v3. Kulishevsky well displaced there by Dorgu. He has the ball, trying to drive Man United forward. Gets brought down by Bergvall and then gets a free kick. We will have 1 added minute at the end of the first half, so not much to add on after the 45 minutes have concluded. Maguire. Mazraoui. Dalot. Back to Nasir Mazraoui. Dalot into Casemiro. Linking up with Fernandes. Slightly better possession for Manchester United, but Spurs I think have just kind of took their foot a little bit off the acceleration pedal. Maybe just put a stomp on the brakes just to take this to half-time now. As the ball switched out to the right side for Delot. Seconds remain. Delot's ball into the box. Hoofed away by Ben Davis. And that concludes the first half. A first 45 where, between these two sides, there hasn't been much convincing attacking play, other than the fact that James Maddison gave Spurs the lead, responding from a rebound from Lucas Bergvall's shot, parried out into the path of Maddison by Onana, and Maddison with a nice effort taken first time to give Tottenham the lead. United had their chances, Spurs had more to double their lead, but at half time, as it was in the Carabao Cup game here in December, it is Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0 at the break. Welcome back to Premier League Live for our final game of Matchday 25 here in the Premier League. Our third and final game of the weekend. We watched Arsenal beat Leicester yesterday lunchtime. We watched Liverpool beat Wolves this lunchtime. And we are now watching Tottenham leading Manchester United by 1-0 at the break in North London. James Maddison's goal, the difference. We will recap that first half very shortly for you, but let's recap what's happened already this weekend for you now. 9 games done and dusted. It's very rare at this stage of the season that we get to round off the whole weekend's results, bar the one that we're watching, because usually there's a Monday night game. But this is the final game of the weekend, so we can run you through what's happened already. It started on Friday night when Brighton hosted Chelsea. Remember, Brighton knocked Chelsea out of the FA Cup Saturday before last. 3-0 victors in the Premier League game on Friday night for them. A good result for Brighton, who needed a bit of a booster in their season. Karim Mitoma with probably one of the best goals you will see this season with the opener. Bart Verbruggen, the goalkeeper, getting the assist on that one before Danny Welbeck set up Yankuba Minteh twice in the game to make it 2 and 3-0. The first time Danny Welbeck's got 2 assists in a game since playing for Arsenal back in 2017. And Brighton deserved winners against the Chelsea side, who have been topsy-turvy and unable to sustain consistency in their play this season. Then yesterday lunchtime, our first game of the weekend was Arsenal taking on Leicester. It looked like it was a tough task for Arsenal up until the final 10 minutes of that game when Mikel Merino popped up and scored 2 big goals to keep Arsenal's chase on the league leaders Liverpool alive. At that point, Arsenal cut the gap to 4 points, meaning the pressure was on Liverpool coming into today's game. So Arsenal getting another victory on the road, another big defeat for Leicester under Ruud van Nistelrooy, and Leicester find themselves in 19th. That was their 16th defeat in 25 games this season. A really horrible season ensuing for Leicester. But a little bit better for one of the other relegation battlers, Ipswich. They went to Villa and got a draw out of that one. They actually went down to 10 men in the first half of that one. Axel Tuanzebe with a second yellow card sees Ipswich go down to 10. They took the lead in the game, quite interestingly, when they were down to 10. Liam Delap with his 10th Premier League goal of the season gave Ipswich the lead inside 11 minutes of the second half before Villa needed Ollie Watkins to rescue a point for them in that one and keep Villa's chase for Europe alive. 1-1 it finished there at Villa Park. Another poor performance, another poor result for a side in the top 4 yesterday. Fulham were able to knock over Nottingham Forest by 2-1. Emile Smith-Rowe gave Fulham the lead inside 15 minutes. Chris Wood, of course, as always, finding the net for Nottingham Forest to get them back on terms before half-time, before in the second half it was Calvin Bassey's goal that was the difference that separated the two, and Fulham winning by 2-1. A much needed win for Fulham, their 10th of the season, and Forest's 6th defeat of the campaign means they fail to keep tabs with Arsenal in second, and they are maybe in a bit of limbo at the minute. Forest 6 points behind Arsenal, 3 points ahead of City. They're quite comfortable in that third place at the moment. Fulham move themselves, of course, up the table. But Manchester City, despite not being on the coattails of Forest, they're maybe slightly closer now after that 4-0 thrashing of Newcastle. Omar Marmoush with a first half hat-trick for City. What a January signing he's been, and got a hat-trick in the first half there. Newcastle made it worse when they conceded a fourth late in the game. James McAtee, set up by Erling Haaland, made it 4. And a much needed victory for Manchester City, who had only 11 shots in that game and only 7 shots on target, but put 4 of them past the Newcastle goalkeeper. And Newcastle weren't able to respond at the moment. Only one of 2 away sides that failed to score on the road this weekend. Of course, Manchester United still to come. Southampton and Bournemouth met in a battle on the south coast, but it wasn't to be a surprise what the result would be there. Rock bottom Southampton once again failing to get anything out of a game of football in the Premier League. They did give Bournemouth a late scare. Bournemouth cruised into a 2-goal lead. Dango Ouattara and Ryan Christie scoring 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes in the first half, made it 2-0 to Bournemouth. Kamaldeen Sulemana then, with 18 minutes to go in the game, got one back for Southampton. Might have caused a bit of worry for those Bournemouth players and fans, but Marcus Tavernier settled the nerves late in the game and made it 3-1 to Bournemouth, and a convincing victory in the end for the Cherries, who momentarily moved up into the top 4 yesterday, but were just into 5th with City overcoming Newcastle. It was a win for Brentford in a London derby. After that defeat to Spurs in their most recent game in the Premier League, they wanted to bounce back with a big result on the road, and that they did. Only their 3rd away win of the season, and they've actually all come in this little spell that they've been on. They're actually unbeaten on the road in the last 4, Brentford now, after the draw with Brighton and the wins against Southampton and Palace, followed up by a 1-0 victory over West Ham yesterday. Kevin Schade, with the only goal of the game, saw Brentford get a big 3 points. Graham Potter's start at West Ham hasn't been particularly impressive so far as it stands, his side failing to score at home as it stands, the only side other than Leicester to do that this weekend. Everton needed another hero in their game away at Crystal Palace to take 3 points off the Eagles. Beto had the only goal of the first half, giving Everton a 1-goal lead at the break. Jean-Philippe Mateta then got the leveller before it was Carlos Alcaraz, the new signing, got the winner for Everton in the second half, and bouncing off that Merseyside derby with a big victory on the road, and Everton moving themselves above both Man United and Spurs before the two played today. And speaking of today, our first game of the afternoon saw Liverpool, the league leaders, just hold on against Wolves. They took a 2-goal lead in the first half. Luis Diaz and Mo Salah's penalty gives Liverpool a 2-goal advantage. Mateus Cunha then got one back, and could have been more for Wolves late in that game, despite Alisson making a big save and some couple of good moments from Wolves not finding the back of the net though on those moments. Liverpool didn't have a shot in the second half, but they have to win in very different ways if you're going to win the title, and Liverpool did that. 2-1 winners against Wolves, doing the double over Wolves this season. Right, the second half between Tottenham and Man United is on the way very shortly, but let's just recap that first half before we do, because we have a couple of minutes to kind of round off that first half from North London. And a very strange first half, I'd have to say. Spurs have had a lot of control, a lot of kind of composure on the ball, a lot of the possession for Spurs in that first half. 67% to Man United's 33%, but it's when Man United win the ball in transition where they look threatening. They've actually had more shots than Spurs in the first half, United, 8 to Spurs' 5, so they are getting in front of goal more often, but certainly not clinical enough. A couple of big chances missed by United in that first half. They had a couple good saves from Vicario, and Dalot's shot cleared off the line. Then Garnacho had one absolutely skied over the bar. So there has been chances for Manchester United, but again, not able to take their chances has been a similar theme all season for Manchester United, and once again portrayed in that first half. For Spurs, again, they really haven't needed, I said at one point in that first half, they haven't really needed to kind of play to their best or to a good level, because Manchester United, again, as I said, they haven't really tested them in terms of consistency in that first half. And Manchester United at times maybe causing their own problems. That midfield is very easily broke through. I mean, the Spurs midfield are having, pardon the pun, a field day really in the centre of the pitch. Madison, Bentancur, Bergvall just having freedom, complete freedom in the central areas. And then when they get it wide, Spurs, they look a threat. Of course they do, with Kulusevski and Son, and Tell making nice runs in the middle. So Spurs looking comfortable at this moment in time, but with a 1-goal lead and the difference only 1 goal, nothing's ever done and dusted really. Especially from what we've seen from Manchester United against Leicester in the FA Cup, especially what we've seen from Spurs this season. As I said, they've dropped the most points from winning positions in the Premier League this season, 21 points dropped from winning positions. So it does seem to show that Spurs, despite leading, Man United can come back in games and Spurs can basically throw the game away. So there's still a lot that can be still decided. And remember, 1-0 at half time in that Carabao Cup quarter final. It finished 4-3. So you never know what's going to come next in this game between these two teams. And you never know what's going to come next in any of the games between them over the last number of seasons, because there hasn't been back-to-back wins in the Premier League in this fixture since Manchester United did it in 2022, both Old Trafford. They actually won 4 in a row, Manchester United, on that run, home and away against Spurs. 4 wins in a row. That was the last time there was back-to-back wins in this competition, but the last 4 have all seen different results. 2 draws, 2 Spurs wins, but not in succession. Manchester United hoping to come back to end that little dry spell against Spurs in the Premier League, 4 games without a win. We will see if they can do that, or if Spurs can keep their unbeaten run against United in all competitions. 5 games without a defeat against Manchester United now. Can they make it 6? We'll see. Second half on the way very shortly. Do stay with us. Welcome back to Premier League Live. Half-time, Tottenham 1, Man United 0. The second half on the way there in a moment. But more midweek action for you to get your teeth into this midweek. Champions League and Premier League sharing the bill this Tuesday and Wednesday night here at LFS. Tuesday night, we have the second leg of the knockout playoff game between Bayern Munich and Celtic. That's to come Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Bayern lead by 2-1 going into that one, so it's all still to play for before we watch a Premier League tie that was brought forward in the schedule. Aston Villa take on Liverpool, as Liverpool will look to extend their lead even further against Arsenal, against Aston Villa on Wednesday night. So that's still to come. this midweek, so we're looking forward to that. Also, the draw for the Champions League round of 16 is on Friday, and the Europa League round of 16, which concerns the two clubs we watch here, are all on Friday afternoon. So we will have all the full details of those European draws to come this Friday afternoon. Tottenham and Manchester United unable to meet, actually, in that competition, the Europa League, until the final, because both finished quite on opposite sides of the draw, of course, in the way they've positioned themselves in the top 8 of that competition from the league phase. So they won't be able to meet until the final. That could be their next meeting, because, of course, they can't face each other in any other competition after this. Spurs aren't in the FA Cup anymore. And this is their second Premier League meeting of the season. A second meeting which Spurs want to win this season. It will be their third win against United if they do complete it this campaign. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That would be greatly appreciated. I thank everybody for joining us for this one as United and Spurs get back underway here in a second. As we do get back underway at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for this second half, then Spurs leading by a goal to nil, but it's not plain sailing. United have had chances again, similar story, not able to take them. That's been a common theme all throughout the season for United on the road. Just 11 goals on the road this season in their previous 11 away games. If we to really equate that, there are not many teams scored less on the road. There's actually only two teams that have scored less on the road than Manchester United, and they are Everton and Southampton on 9 and 10 goals on the road this season. So United not prolific in front of goal away from home this season. Actually not prolific in front of goal at all this season, because overall they've only scored 28 goals this season. Bit of an issue here. Dorgu and Kulishevsky tangling, both back to their feet there. Of course, we expect to see a little bit more from Manchester United in the second half, and they have a free kick here to try and do that early doors. Fernandes over it. Fernandes, right-footed ball, right to the back post. Maguire keeps it alive. Flecked on by Madison into his own box and had to be cleared away there by Jed Spence. Here's Tell on the break. Not in a hurry. Jevs gets it back to Jed Spence again. Wanted to go for that through ball to Son, but well blocked off by Mazraoui. As I said, it's all about Manchester United showing more in the second half. They're not shown more there. Fernandes gives it away cheaply. Kulishevsky. Bergval. Wide now to Porro. Try to get the cross in. Blocked by Fernandes. And Dorgu linking up. Trying to link up with his captain. Gives it away again. Here's Dorgu though. Porro in behind. And De Ligt trying to see it out. Has to force it out for the corner, as he was under pressure there by Kulishevsky. That was fabulous endeavour from Dejan Kulishevsky. Was not going to give up on the ball no matter what. Wasn't going to let it go for a throw, or for a goal kick, sorry, and kept it in play and then forced De Ligt to have to put it behind for the Spurs corner. Smart from Dejan Kulishevsky there. Porro to take this corner. First of the half. Right footed. Headed away by Maguire. Madison to recycle, back out wide to Porro. Whips the ball in, all the way through. Son brought it down, Bergval mishit it. Tell on the spin, the shot. Straight at the goalkeeper from Matthias Tell. Again, Man United not able to clear their lines and gave Spurs 2 or 3 opportunities there to get the shot off. Oh, Maguire just about getting to the ball ahead of Matthias Tell. That's a poor pass by Dorgu, given away to given away as he tried to find Garnacho. Spence for Tottenham. Son. Bentancur. Madison. Comfortable on the ball again, Spurs. Davis to Danso. His body's forward for Tottenham. Danso trying to flick it on to Kulishevsky. He tried to find his man, and Højlund gives it back to Manchester United again. Or to Tottenham again, sorry. Spence now to Son. Son with a high ball into the box, but far too high from the Spurs captain. Goal kick to Manchester United. Again, similar theme. First to second half so far. Spurs just settled, calm on the ball, waiting for their opportunity, not forcing the issue. Manchester United unable to keep the possession for very long. Here's De Ligt. Does feed it in behind. Højlund made the run, and the flag's going to go up. You could probably see that coming from a mile off that. The flag being raised against Rasmus Højlund. Another offside call going against Manchester United. It's actually the 5th time they've been called offside in this game. Spurs haven't been at all so far. 5 offsides for Manchester United, so they're certainly falling into that offside trap very, very often. Danso not particularly happy that Højlund is in the vicinity of this free kick. Here the referee has a chat with Højlund. Danso just lays it off to Bentancur. Kulishevsky isolated there, surrounded by 2 in red, and does well to win the throw in there, Dejan Kulishevsky. Porro. Not able to link up, but Matthias Tell latches upon the loose ball given away by Dorgu. Keeps it in play. Tell tries to win the corner. The ball actually goes into the box, and Casemiro can just get it back to Maguire. Garnacho trying to break away from Porro as he tried to come forward. Last touch came off Garnacho. Not able to get the ball forward at all at the minute, Man United. A lot of the ball in their own half at this minute in time. Porro with another throw in. Nice link up there. Bergvall finds it out into space for Davies. Madison gives it back to Ben Davies. Returns it to Madison again. Son round the corner for the underlapping Jed Spence. Battling past Mazraoui. Takes him in a foot race. Spence leaves him for dead. The ball across. And Tell could only really just tap it with a pace on it. Didn't really add much to the ball there. Didn't really need to. The pace was on it from Spence's cross. Again, Spence spins Mazraoui, breaks into the box, and as he cuts it back, it just finds the foot of Matthias Tell. And it just couldn't really do much about it, Tell. It goes over the bar. Again, Spurs get the joy in the wide areas, is where they look threatening. They find a second. Manchester United's hopes of coming back into this game might be diminishing. Although that's a ball by Maguire over the top. Garnacho, the flag stays down. The shot! Well saved against Dalot, but the flag goes up now. Against him. See it again. I mean, the wide channel, no one's actually watching the runner. Spence steps up, but it's actually just played. He's just offside. It was actually Porro that didn't step up with his defence, and actually could have been costing them there if the flag didn't go up, because he wasn't in cohesion, he wasn't in sync with his other defenders who had all stepped up to play offside, and Porro was maybe just a second too late to that, but he did get just enough to call the offside. Fernandez, nice ball round the corner. Xerxes flicks it forward. Ball bouncing down, falls to Rasmus Højlund. Not able to keep it. And Spurs clear it away and give it back to Manchester United. A lot of turnovers in possession so far in this second half. Either side keeping the ball. It's like kind of hot potato at the minute between the two teams. Dalot. Back to Mazraoui. Now Maguire. Casemiro around the corner. Out to Dalot. Has to come back though. Fernandez through the line. Xerxes rolls through. Garnacho with a beautiful touch. Garnacho! Good save by Vicario with a cut back. Too far behind his teammates. And Spurs get away from trouble again. It was close. Danzo committed. Couldn't win the ball. United maybe getting a little bit of joy out of Spurs here. Fernandez down the right. Xerxes. Back to Dalot. Now Fernandez. Xerxes again. Eyed up the cross. Didn't take it. Cut it back to Maguire. Gives it back to De Ligt. It was better for Manchester United. De Ligt switch ball. Over the head. Sailing over the head of his captain Bruno Fernandes. Go throw into Spurs on the far side. But we see this again. Beautiful ball by Xerxes between the lines. And a fantastic run by Garnacho. Wonderful first touch, takes it away from the defender, takes him into space, and he just tries to side foot it past Vicario. Makes a good save, it parried out. Garnacho gets the second ball and tries to cut it back to one of his teammates in there, but just too far behind them. And then ended up being cleared by Spurs, but that little moment might just swing the momentum for Manchester United. And better encouragement in trying to get the equalising goal. Dorgu. Nowhere to go, had to turn back. Does find the forward pass to Alejandro Garnacho, who's taking his way past Porro. Garnacho switches across to Mazraoui, who slips on the ball. Just about getting it through to Fernandez. Slice of luck there. Dalot looking for the cross. And it all comes back off Dalot last. Goal kick. Thought he was getting a corner there, Diogo Dalot. A kind of bit of pinball between Dalot and Spence. And the last touch did come off Diogo Dalot. Yeah, it's a good decision. It's the correct decision after seeing the replay. This is a Spurs ball. We've lost their kind of composure is not the right word I'm trying to look for. Concentration is the word I'm looking for. They've just lost their concentration a little bit, Spurs, and they've got a bit antsy on the ball at times. And that's allowing Manchester United back into the game. It's lacked that concentration in possession, which they certainly had in abundance in the first half, and it's just letting Manchester United have a little bit more of the ball, because they're giving it away cheaply at the minute. Spurs. Fernandez. Nice Trivela pass out to the right side for Dalot. Up against Spence. Son cutting in. Cross into the box. Headed away by Danso. Not fully clear. Garnacho. Good save. Very good save by Vicario. Forced into another one. But Man United getting so much more joy out of Tottenham now. Early cross by Fernandez. Not cleared by Danso. It falls to Garnacho on the edge of the box. He strikes, trying to find that bottom left corner. And Vicario gets down quickly and makes a very good save. Man United in the ascendancy. Spurs holding on to their lead at the moment. Fernandez fed wide to Dalot. Cuts it back to Fernandez. Tried to whip it in. Will whip it in now. Up in the air by Bergval. Flicked on by Dorgu. Garnacho round the corner. Run out of room. Run out of pitch space. Goal kick. Again, so much better for Manchester United. Yeah, it's a Very good save by Vicario, but from Spurs' point of view, didn't get it as far away as they would have liked, and just a really good first touch by Garnacho, which takes it and sets up the goal-scoring chance for him. And he does take the shot very well. Look at that. The last 5 minutes, not a single % of possession has been in Man United's final third, in their defensive third. That might change now, though. Here comes Son on the move. Son not finding a teammate, as Onana comfortably strides out with the ball. So quickly, a few minutes of good play makes in this game. That's a wonderful through ball. Dorgu not able to match it. It's a fabulous crossfield pass. I think the referee's given off, or the official's given offside again. See this again. I mean, it's a wonderful ball. Why Patrick Dorgu is offside, I will never know. But he was. I mean, he's on the verge of his own half. Why is he offside? Just a bit lazy that from Manchester United. Here comes Spurs down the left side with Son. Finding Madison. Chipping it over the top, brought down by Tell. Has the shots. Just wide, took a deflection. Will be a corner. He is desperate for that first goal for Tottenham. He is desperate for it. You can see it. He's looking a threat today, Matthias Tell. Lovely ball by Madison. Chested down. Takes it on the half turn. It does take a deflection off the United defender for a corner. Corner for Spurs. Left side. Son will take. Goes short to Madison. Madison running to the byline, trying to get it across. Well blocked by Casemiro. Falls to Son again. Heung-min Son deflected. Just wide. Corner. Maybe the momentum swung back for Spurs here all of a sudden. That corner almost led to something. Heung-min Son breaking away from Xerxes. And then does get, as he takes the shot, the deflection off De Ligt. Carries it wide for the corner, which Porro will take now. This is a huge moment in this game, a turning point. Porro's delivery, flicked round the back, headed away by De Ligt. Kept alive by Madison, feeds it to Porro again. Porro's ball across all the way through. Back post, Tell shot blocked. Madison keeps it alive. Spence absolutely sent Højlund there. Madison. Tell. Takes the touch away from his man. Finding Son. Feeds it wide for Porro. Confines of the 18-yard box now. Kulishevsky. Chips past his man. Kulishevsky. Couldn't get it past Dorgu. And Fernandez back helping. Clearing the ball wide, well away. But Højlund not able to take control of it. And now that's better from Tottenham. Winning the ball back confidently. Spence. Linking up with Tell. Round the corner. Again crowded out there, Matthias Tell. Casemiro can't get it anywhere near forward and gets a free kick out of that. Maybe a bit lucky there, Casemiro. Looked like a dead man walking trying to play that pass. He gets the free kick out of it. The Spurs ready to make changes. Papsar and Brennan Johnson are going to be coming on. So Madison is coming off. So James Madison, who would at this minute in time have the winning goal, he's going to be replaced by Brennan Johnson. Yeah, look at this goal again. It's good shot from Bergvall, parried by Onana into the path of Madison. A darting effort with a darting celebration. That could be the winner. As it stands, it would be. So Bergvall and Madison replaced. And of course Papsar and Brennan Johnson on. Brennan Johnson's going to go to the right flank. I think Kulishevsky's going to drop a little bit deeper into the midfield a bit more now. So Johnson on the right. And Saar will just take up Bergvald's place in that midfield. So some fresh legs for Spurs. It's Højlund making the chase on this ball against Davies. Højlund will give it back to Dalot. Now Casemiro under pressure. Played it straight to Spurs and gives it away there. Casemiro completely out. Muscled. Kulishevsky. Spurs on the break. Brennan Johnson now. Johnson. First real involvement. Wins Spurs a corner off Matthijs de Ligt from Brennan Johnson. Well, Manchester United did come out with more energy in the second half. Spurs started the better. Man United had their little 5-minute spell of dominance. Spurs swung it back the way it came. Kulishevsky with the ball in. Headed out. And will be kept alive by Brennan Johnson. He tries to get past Dalot and gets upended by Diogo Dalot. Free kick to Tottenham. 25 minutes to go. Spurs 1, Man United 0. Chance for Spurs to deliver once again into the box. With, of course, different personnel now. This might add a little added complexity to this. Ruben Amorim looks to the ground. Not an easy one to keep an eye on. Let's see how they deal with this. Right-footed delivery, low, across the front post, and the flick by Kulishevsky. Took a deflection on the way through there from the Spurs man. It will be a corner. Yeah, it took a touch off the low before it went behind of Kulishevsky's back heel. Will be a corner once again for Tottenham. The free kick ending up with a corner. Another delivery incoming from Son. A lot narrower that time, headed away. Kept alive by Kulishevsky. Again away by Zirkzee. Spence sends it forward into the channel. Fernandez gets the better of his man and gets the ball here. Back to Casemiro, who hoofs it long. Well headed down by Bentancur. A nice play wide here. Spence linking up with Son. Son dilly-dallying in his move, but finds Spence eventually. Here is Jed Spence. Back to Saar. Now back to Bentancur. It's composure from Spurs again. Saar. Wide to Spence again. That's good work to find Bentancur once more. Spurs have just really just eased their way back into the game. Man United have retreated like a snail into their shell. I mean, they had the chance to bounce back into the game, and now they're just really stepping off the gas, stepping off Spurs all the time here. Spence will shoot from distance, and the bouncing ball could have caused a problem, but it was easily caught by Andre Onana. Manchester United have just struggled since that little spell that they had. That's a lovely ball by Fernandez. Dalot down the right side. Here's Højlund on the turn. Rasmus Højlund lays it off now. Zirkzee couldn't reach it. He kind of left it. And now Spurs have a chance to break themselves here. Porro on the move. 4 on 4. Porro still going. No one in the way. Kulishevsky now onto his left foot. Chops in field. Still not his chance to shoot. Saar will keep it alive. Round the corner to Son. Heung-min Son here. Dribbling his way through in the shot. Takes another deflection off Mazraoui. Another Spurs corner. Again, it's Man United. They came forward well, and Hoyland's ball across to Xerxes looked like a simple enough pass. Xerxes left it, expecting someone else to be there, and Spurs could just break and have a good chance up the other end. Manchester United are the ones that are clinging on at the moment. Spurs knocking on the door for a second. Son again! Oh, hits the roof of the net. He scored directly from a corner in that Carabao Cup quarter-final against United. And again, for a split second it looked like he might have tried to repeat that. He certainly was trying it. Just curled onto the roof of the net, away from the front of the goal there from United. Mazraoui tried to clear it away from Son, but gives it back. Spence now into the box. Johnson with the first touch, plays it on to Kulishevsky, feeds it through. Porro just clattering Patrick Dorgu, who wins Man United a free kick. Well, Manchester United away from home, actually on a good run of form, unbeaten in the last 4 on the road. They went to Liverpool. Oh, Xerxes. Danzo did well against Hoyland there. Had to. 1-on-1. Xerxes' through ball was really nice, and Hoyland trying to latch on the end of it. But well worked by Danzo just to cover it over. That's fabulous from Spence on the ball. Does really well. As I was saying, Manchester United on the road, unbeaten in the last 4. They went to Liverpool. They won in penalties against Arsenal on the road. They won against Fulham in the league. And then they beat FCSB in their last away game. And that was in the Europa League in the 30th of January. So unbeaten on the road in their last 4. And that was off the back of 2 defeats on the road. Wolves away and Spurs away. Actually went a really long spell without a win on the road earlier in the season, Manchester United. Close cross, headed away by Porro. Fernandez. Dallo again. Back to Mazraoui, who will whip one in, and Xerxes! Oh, the header was in the right area. It just went wide of the left post. Big chance. Big chance. Again, a lovely cutback. Mazraoui with a wonderful whip ball in, and Xerxes unmarked. His man didn't follow him, and Xerxes had a free header. All he has to do is glance it, and he gets too much on it, and it just carries it wide. Another decent opportunity. That's a cheap giveaway by Danzo. Casemiro through the lines. Garnacho trying to ride into the box. Went down. Still alive. Here's Hoyland. Chopping onto his right, Hoyland. Straight at Vicario. There's no doubting the fact that Vicario has been called into action quite a lot today. That one there was his 5th save of the afternoon, so he has been tested. Manchester United just haven't been able to find it. And actually, interestingly, none of Manchester United's players on this field have scored more than 1 goal away from home. Ahmad, Martinez and Rashford are the only 3 players in United in the Premier League to score more than once away from home. Everyone else has just 1 goal for United, or none, obviously. Casemiro. Dorgu. Xerxes back to Dorgu. Does well to flick it on to Casemiro, who delivers it wide to the right. Here for Dallo. Cuts it back to Fernandez. He will whip it in. Too high. Kept alive by Garnacho in the box. Blocked off by 2 and wins Man United a corner. That time off Brennan Johnson. And that's actually Man United's 2nd corner of the game. They haven't had a corner since the very first one in this match. And Bruno Fernandes will take this corner. 17 minutes to go. Right-footed delivery. Fernandes palmed away by Vicario. Bodies flying all around the floor. in the box there. Fernandez reverses the ball into Dorgu. Dorgu with a cross. Back post. Brought down by Casemiro, who shoved off the ball. Wanted a penalty. Not going to get one. Spence comes away with the ball for Tottenham. Tell runs into trouble. Gives the ball away again. No foul. Xerxes steps away from Bentancur. Xerxes through the middle. And Højlund well stopped there by the Spurs defence. It's got a bit chaotic in the last few minutes. Again, not a coincidence that when it does get a bit more chaotic that Man United have a few chances. And the ball in behind here for Brennan Johnson, who feeds it across. The ball falls to Son. Can't get the shooting opportunity. Tell! Straight at the goalkeeper. Lacking any real venom in that shot. Just a straight strike right at Onana, who can dive comfortably and gather. See this chance that Casemiro wanted a penalty for. Yeah, there's nothing in that. It goes down far too easily. Give him an Oscar. Actually, don't give him an Oscar. It wasn't actually that convincing of acting. Certainly was acting anyway. Certainly wasn't a foul. 15 minutes to go. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. Not many's a goal in this one as it was in December. And there were 7. But whatever matters, Spurs want this win. United also need a win. Who will come away with it? Dorgu. Casemiro. Back to De Ligt. Man United showing intent. Garnacho down the left. Driving in field. Blocked by Porro. Well retrieved. And Porro trying to turn defence into attack quickly here with Son. Skips away from the desperate challenge from Mazraoui. And Dalot doing the same. And Son's got free space down the left here. Heung-min Son up against Mazraoui, who gets back in. Dalot. Son again holding on to the ball and getting Spurs forward to the right end area of the field. Porro. The next goal is monumental in this game. Spurs get a second, you would feel that would be that done and dusted, and Spurs would get the 3 points. But if United get a goal back, this game could go any way to the end. Vicario. Danso. Back to Vicario, and Bentancur on the turn had to evade pressure, and he did so. And now he's got the benefits of space ahead of him. He runs into Casemiro there. That's a good challenge by Danso. Wins it back. Referee was going to blow for a foul, but he plays advantage for Spurs, because here's Kulusevski. Blocked by Dorgu and forced out for a corner. Good endeavour by Dorgu. As he was on the ground, he had to do something and get involved, and did put it out for the corner. Changes coming here for Spurs then. Kevin Danzo's going to be coming off. Archie Gray's going to replace him at centre back. Manage his load and manage his minutes. And as will Rodrigo Bentancur. He's going to make way as well. And Yves Bissouma's coming on as well. So Bissouma replacing Bentancur, and Gray replacing Danso. Not often Spurs have had many fresh legs to bring off the bench. Tonight they've had quite a number. And they have a corner on the right side. United without a substitution yet in this game. Can't really make one because it's a bunch of youth players on the bench. Right-footed corner, whipped in, flicked on. Suma with the first touch there, having a shot. Nice turn by Johnson. Brought down, no foul. Man United on the break. Not getting very far though was Bruno Fernandes. Spurs have it back here. 4-on-3. Here's Son in the box. Cuts it back. Kulusevski. Saved by Onana. Away by De Ligt. Maguire helping it on. But Kulusevski trying to wrestle for it back. But Xerxes gets it through to Hoyland. Taken out there, Hoyland. Referee playing advantage with Garnacho. Xerxes. Dorgu, through. And Hoyland has the shot blocked by Jed Spence, who got back. End to end. There all of a sudden, Spurs had a chance, United have a chance. That's got to that point in the game. Spurs want the winner to finish this game off, to take that second, to really dead the game. But Man United want that equaliser to really keep the game alive and give themselves hope of a comeback. There's still a lot of time to go, 11 minutes, and United have another corner. Fernandes, right on the goalkeeper, who punches away. Not very far, Delict will retrieve. Whips it back in round the corner. Casemiro flicks it back. Son with a clearance. But no respite for the wicket here for Spurs. Fernandes round the top. Actually caught out his own players there. And trying to sneak it round the corner. Goal kick. Well, amongst all that, Ben Davies got a yellow card. And that came when, Rasmus Højlund was absolutely upended, taken out by Ben Davies. He played the advantage, the referee, and retrospectively booking Ben Davies for that challenge. Dorgu's pass ends up coming off the arm of Kulusevski, and United will get the free kick. 10 minutes to go. The alarm bell starting to sound in the Manchester United dressing room. On that bench, they want to find something that can give their side an advantage late here. As Fernandes' ball didn't get anywhere near the box, cleared away by Spurs. Back to Fernandes, visits it again, same result. And now a little bit of a break here. Tell on the break, rolls it round. Johnson goes down, absolutely rugby tackle down there. Here is Kulusevski, gets the break of the ball. Into the box, cut across, Maguire in the way. His United flooded bodies back and Johnson stayed down. He was absolutely rugby tackled there by one of the United players. And he's gone down holding his head, which has us stopped here for the moment. See this again. He knew the challenge from Dorgu was coming. And he just gets absolutely thrown over by Dorgu, and then as Dorgu went down, kind of caught Brendan Johnson in the head there, but he's okay and he's back to his feet. Johnson could have been a dangerous one. It could have been a very agonising one, as Bentancur, who came off here, has some sort of strapping around his right knee, so was wincing as he came off the pitch, Rodrigo Bentancur, and now has some strapping as he sits on the bench on his right knee. Oof. Basuma giving it away to Xerxes. Xerxes now finding Fernandes. Space here for United. Fernandes to Dorgu. Dorgu's ball. Deep, but too deep. Goal kick. Many times that Man United have come forward, there's just been no end product whatsoever today at all for Manchester United. I cannot find the net for love nor money at this minute in time. Not that they haven't had opportunities to, they have, just haven't been able to find it. Don't forget, Bayern against Celtic is our Champions League offering this midweek in the second leg of those knockout playoff games. I have 3 other matches to keep an eye on as well on Tuesday night. Tuesday to 8 o'clock here on LFS. Garnacho! Xerxes hit the ball. And now Spence trying to speed away. Does well to link up with his teammates. Son skipping through challenges. Went down, no foul. As Maguire retrieves it. It's end-to-end stuff here at the minute. Neither side giving up and folding for what they have. Well, of course, Man United won't. Spurs, you would probably err on the side of 1 goal lead, 7 minutes to go. Do you take the risk of sitting deep and risking the chance of maybe conceding a late equaliser? Or do you keep doing what you're doing and trying to find that second goal? Dalot, well blocked off there by Jed Spence. It will be a United corner. throwing the bodies forward are Manchester United. When they need it, can they find it? Fernandez's delivery into the box. Deadlock was up, it's bouncing around the area, it's not cleared away. Casemiro, and the keeper was coming for it, but no risks taken there. On that occasion by Brennan Johnson, who cleared it away. Here's Dorgu from the throw. Dorgu ticks on Johnson, gets the ball across. Flicked away by Bissouma. Porro emerges forward, finding Son, and now through to Tell, and United have a counter to deal with here. Matthias Tell stepping to the edge of the box, trying to feed it through, couldn't find Kulishevsky. And another counter-attack, another break from Spurs. Falls flat and comes to nothing. Well, that's not the only game in midweek, Bayern Celtic, that we have on offer for you. Premier League action as Aston Villa take on Liverpool Wednesday at 7:30. That game, an earlier kickoff on Wednesday night. For that one, also have updates from the Champions League as well. And then next weekend is set up to be an exciting one as well. A big one next Sunday for you. Manchester City v Liverpool is a huge one, and Forest Newcastle is another one. That's a big Super Sunday next weekend. So another double header for you to come in 7 days' time in the Premier League. Some good matches next weekend to look forward to. I'll let you know all about those details during the week. Spence couldn't be kept alive from Matthias Tell there on that left hand side. Spurs just trying to hold on, and here's more evidence of it. Heung-min Son is going to be coming off, and Wilson Odobert is coming on. Wilson Odobert had a very long injury. Got injured actually in September. Came back in mid-October. Got injured again. And has been out ever since. This will be his first appearance since he was injured. And Wilson Odobert coming on. His first appearance since coming on against AZ Alkmaar on the 24th of October. That was his only appearance since a 2-1 win over Coventry in the League Cup back in September. So, sparing for Odobert this season in terms of appearances, and he returns for the final 5 minutes or so here to try and carry Spurs over the line with this 1-goal lead, and Son coming off in his place. Spence throws it down the line, bobbling around as Spurs do have the ball somehow in the middle. Escapes Tell's grasp. Cleared away by Deadlock. Brought down by Zirkzee. Casemiro has to go backwards with the ball. Fernandez round the corner. Blind pass. Plays it on to Delot. Zirkzee. Again, Spurs win the ball, and now Odobert dribbling his way through. Trying to send Spence on a run. Spence skips away from the challenge. Spurs with a big chance here. Spence's ball again. Not the right option from Spence. And Man United see it out for a goal kick. Just tried to play it on the outside of Harry Maguire, and there was no one in Spurs colours there to try and get the ball, and just a breakdown in communication in that final third again from Spurs. Ample opportunity to find a second goal. But Man United have had ample opportunity to equalise, and nothing has been found. Højlund linking up with Delot. Rasmus Højlund in the box. Seen out well by Sarr. Will be a Man United corner though. 2 minutes of normal time to go. Spurs have another corner to defend. Manchester United really desperate for anything really at this late stage. Corner whipped in. Header is on from Casemiro, but a good save by Vicario. It's a free man in the middle there, Casemiro. No one anywhere near him, and as he stepped up, the header was always going to be caught by Vicario. with that type of velocity on the header. Just come off the face of Casemiro there, off his nose or something. Sarr skipping his way past trouble. Sarr now into space, drives infield, lays it off now to Tell from the angle. Well closed out by De Ligt again. The many chances Tottenham have had on the break when Man United fall forward, as they give it away cheaply again. United skipped away, does Odegaard, trying to dribble his way through it, falls to Tell in behind. Tell across, right into the hands of Onana. Oh, United, oh! Clash there between Dorgu, and I might think that's Porro actually, and it's going to be a yellow card to Patrick Dorgu. I mean, Onana tries to throw it out to send Dorgu on the run. He then I'll see this again. He kind of over amplifies his wing back's actual pace, and he throws it right out, too far ahead of Dorgu, spots it too late. Porro there to nip it away, and then Dorgu just trying to nick in to take it, ends up giving away the foul and getting a yellow card. So Casemiro's coming off here, and coming on is going to be Chido Obi Martin. I can't say I've ever heard of him. The 17-year-old Danish has come on for the late stages. Casemiro off. 3 added minutes. Porro played on to Kulusevski. Back to Porro. Space now. Porro across. All the way through as Mazraoui got involved. But Porro's brought it down in the box again. And the shot from Ben Davis was deflected wide. Corner. It's the best thing that Spurs can do right now, is keep it at this end of the field and just run the clock out. Well, they weren't wanting to run the clock out there. They wanted to find that second goal, and they almost did. Once again, as Ben Davis' shot came off Mazraoui and got a corner for Tottenham. As Porro rolls it out to Kulusevski. They're not in a hurry. Just trying to keep it at the corner flag. And they actually win a throw in there, Man United, off Porro. Didn't do very well keeping it out, although Basuma put it back in the box and Tell couldn't get the better of it. Man United are on the verge of absolutely crumbling, but somehow they're still alive in this game. Johnson, somehow Xerxes does bring it down and gets on the turn and sends Spurs players facing their own goal, but his ball over the top from Joshua Xerxes, far too much. Easily retrieved by Vicario, and just over a minute remaining. Time is of the essence for Man United. You've had so many chances to try and get something, but again, as I said, virtually no end product whatsoever, and this is why they sit where they are in the table, but also in this game. Onana's long ball, headed back the way it came, and Tell has made the better of it. Matthias Tell tried to chip his man, and Onana caught the ball just in time and sends United on a move. Headed away by Gray. Again, Spurs have control of the ball with Porro, and win Spurs a throw in off Patrick Dorgu. And the clock is running out, and Spurs might just scrape what would be a massive, monumental 3 points for them. Few seconds remain. United have the ball. Is there time for one last shot? One last chance? Referee's not going to give it. It's all over. And for the first time since this 3rd of November, Tottenham have a home win in the Premier League. This long, torrid, winless run in the league at home comes to an end at the fated hearts of Manchester United. Ipswich, Fulham, Chelsea, Liverpool, Wolves, Newcastle, Leicester, all coming away with something here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and when Manchester United return, they come away with nothing. Spurs' third win against United this season, a first league double over United in 35 years. A well-deserved victory for Spurs, but United had their chances. But as I said, when you can't find the back of the net, really, you've got no chance. And Tottenham, when they took the lead, they probably should have had more. But in the end, both sides, it's real evidence that they are struggling in the way they play and in their performances so far. And in the end, both sides cancelled each other out. And by that rebounded effort that was put in by Maddison, there was really nothing else to be written here this afternoon. A very long way away from that 7-goal thriller we saw in December. But all that matters for Spurs is they get the win. A much needed one. And that puts them up to 12th. Manchester United remain in 15th. And in a really bad position. Final score at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. Another weekend done and dusted then in the Premier League. Not many away wins. 3 of them to be exact. Bournemouth, Everton and Arsenal. And just 1 draw in this weekend. Villa and Ipswich, and a lot of home wins to go into the mix. And Spurs, for the first time since December, winning inside this stadium in the Premier League. That's the roundup of the weekend. Brighton 3-0 winners against Chelsea. Arsenal won 2-0 away at Leicester. Villa needed a late equaliser to take a point off Ipswich 1-1. Fulham 2-1 winners against Forest. 4-0 thrashing from Manchester City against Newcastle. Bournemouth 3-1 winners on the road against Southampton. Brentford getting a big win on the road 1-0 away at West Ham. Everton 2-1 up against Palace. Liverpool edging Wolves out by 2-1. And the final score of the weekend sees Spurs beat Manchester United by 1-0. Let's quickly have a look at the table then before we leave you this evening and for this weekend in the Premier League, because this is how we look after all 20 teams have played 25 games. It is Liverpool who remain top of the tree. 60 points out of 25 games. 18 wins, 6 draws, 1 defeat this season. This one this afternoon was as close as ever, but they got the job done, Liverpool, and extend their lead back to 7 points over Arsenal, who are in second on 53. Forest at 6 points behind Arsenal on 47 in third. City make up the top 4 on 44. But a lot of those teams in and around the mix, Bournemouth, Chelsea and Newcastle, all on the coattails of that top 4 race. Fulham in 8th, Villa 9th and Brighton make up the top 10. Into the bottom half is where we see the 2 teams we've just watched. Brentford pushing their way away from those teams below them. They have a little bit of a gap between the team above them and the team below them. Spurs are in 12th now on 30 points. Palace and Everton on the same amount of points, but Spurs have a much better goal difference than those 2 teams. Manchester United remain in 15th. 29 points for them after they were toppled by Everton. After they beat Palace, Everton. Man United stay in 15th. West Ham in 16th. Wolves in 17th, just above the relegation zone. Ipswich adding an extra point to their tally this weekend. The only side actually in the bottom 5 to do that. Actually in the bottom 6 to do that this weekend. Getting a draw out of Villa. Leicester and Southampton once again tasting defeat. Not too uncommon for those relegation battlers. That's it from us. Join us in midweek as the Champions League knockout playoffs continue. The second legs, Bayern take on Celtic, and Bayern Munich 2-1 leaders from that first leg at Celtic Park. Tuesday 8 o'clock to see who will be going to the round of 16. Will it be Vincent Kompany's Bayern or Brendan Rodgers' Celtic? We will see on Tuesday nights. But that's it from the Premier League this evening. A great day in the league. Some close ties, but the 2 home sides in Liverpool and Spurs coming out on top.